Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Folks, it's been 3 years. Can you believe it? Time just flies when you're having fun. It's been 3 years since the SEC sued Ripple, effectively attacking all XRP holders on the entire damn planet, just ruining everyone's damn Christmas. Like, seriously, what an awful... it's like the most awful period of being an XRP holder. In fact, for me, I would say those earliest of days were the worst experience I've ever had as an XRP holder. And it's not because of XRP itself, obviously. It's not because of regular XRP price volatility or anything having to do with utility. It's because of the SEC attack and the uncertainty that it introduced in all of our minds. Because especially in those earliest of days, it was hard to get a handle on the degree to which the SEC could be right or wrong. Now, I thought they were wrong the whole damn time. But obviously I know way more today about that and why they were wrong than I did 3 years ago. But my gosh, and it's the most consequential thing that possibly could have happened. It still blows me away that I put the most money into XRP, and that's the one large cap that the SEC goes after. Are you freaking kidding me? And I'm sure you guys, so many of you, if you've been around that long, you probably feel about the same as me, right? It's just ridiculous. But everything's great. I mean, you should check out my very last video, by the way, because I was talking about how close we likely are, to this final blow-off top. This market cycle, we're finally going to get ours, and I think that the volume is just going to be absolutely insane in addition to the price. But Brad Garlinghouse, he just shredded Kim Gensler. He just shredded him on social media platform X. I want to share with you what he had to say. And then there's also this story from Axios. From NFTs to XRP, the biggest crypto stories of 2023. And this is a good one. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so where did this all stem from? Well, there's a post from Kim Gensler on social media platform X, and he wrote some utter nonsense, which is a thing that he does. Or maybe it's just his intern, because I don't know that he's actually typing stuff with his stupid little fingers. I mean, maybe he is, but I kind of doubt it. I mean, I just think he'd cry every night because it just the amount of hate for this man, which is deserved, of course, it is intense. But anyway, here's what he wrote, or his intern. There is a lot of non-compliance in the crypto space. It undermines confidence when so many people have been hurt, and all they can do is stand in line in the bankruptcy court. Further, this can make it hard for the good faith actors to compete. So you might be shaking your head upon seeing this. It's just offensive on its face. As if Kim Gensler's flying in with a cape to save the day. Does any single human ever felt protected in the world of crypto because of anything Kim Gensler has done? I'm going to hazard a guess. No. Now, the good thing about X, and I do love this, I genuinely love this, is that there's something, which if you're not on X, you might not be familiar with this, there's something called community notes. If somebody says something that is particularly false, it might garner a lot of attention on social media platform X. And there's an option to get a note tagged to the post disputing what's stated so that you can get closer to the truth. And I actually generally, it's not perfect, but I generally like how this functionality works because, first of all, the code that they use to do this, it's open source. So, there's total transparency with it. You can see how it works and you can see that it is applied consistently across the platform. So that's good. And also, one of the requirements, because I've heard Elon Musk talk about this, one of the requirements for somebody's post to get community noted, as it's called, in order for a post to get community noted, you have to have people who normally disagree with one another come to a consensus and say, yeah, actually, what you wrote there is wrong. It's right. And then the community note's attached to it. But that's kind of a high bar. If you've got people who regularly disagree and they're still agreeing on this one thing, there's a much higher probability that it's true. Not a certainty. And sometimes there have been bad community notes, but those typically, once the ones that are false or wrong, they're typically live for a short period of time, so they're pretty damn good. But he got community noted here, as he should. And the community note read as follows. Crypto companies like Coinbase, a public company that the SEC oversaw the listing of, have been trying to gain clarity on SEC guidance for compliance for the past few years. The SEC hasn't taken a clear stance and has relied on regulation by enforcement. And then they provided a couple of links, and one was to this article from Reuters, and this is from a week ago. US SEC says no to new crypto rules. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just the top part here. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Friday denied a petition by Coinbase Global seeking new rules from the agency for the digital asset sector, which the country's largest crypto exchange then sought to challenge in court. The 5-member commission, in a 3-2 vote, said it would not propose new rules because it fundamentally disagreed that current regulations are unworkable for the cryptosphere, as Coinbase has argued. Coinbase later said it had filed a petition for review of the SEC's decision in court. And so obviously this is indeed the case. So everything's set to go in the world of crypto. That's the official position of Kim Jong Gensler and the rest of the little asshat pricks at the SEC. It's complete and utter nonsense, and it's offensive on its face, especially when you consider what some of what Gensler's been doing, in addition to going on the attack, what he's been doing the last few years, which was brought up by Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. So Garlinghouse, he actually reposted Gary Gensler's. Well, it's just a post, I guess. I guess they don't call them tweets anymore. He reposted what Gary Gensler's account shared there, and Brad Garlinghouse wrote the following: "Stunning hypocrisy from the person who cozied up to the biggest fraud in recent memory. Gensler is a political liability whose actions have decimated consumers and destroyed the integrity of the SEC while remaining buddy-buddy with Wall Street." Yes, spot on, Brad Garlinghouse. And he shared this YouTube video. It was real short. I'm not going to play it. It was only about a minute. But it just rips Gensler to shreds. Notes, okay, so while he was making just millions and millions and millions of dollars on Wall Street, he has, so buddy-buddy with Wall Street, and I'd say that buddy-buddiness has persisted while he's been SEC chair. Then what does he do when he becomes SEC chair? Well, obviously we know he attacked Kim Kardashian. Like, we were protected from Kim Kardashian, right? Remember that whole thing? But what was he doing? He was meeting with SBF, as was cited in this video. You can see it in the freeze frame. Gensler met with SBF October 2021 and March 2022. So he couldn't sniff out the actual legitimate fraud, the Ponzi scheme, right under his nose. Couldn't figure that one out, but he sure protected us from Kim Kardashian. Thanks, you prick. So it's completely absurd. But the good news is, we won. We knew the whole time we were on the right side of history, didn't we? And now time has passed, and we have been proven to be in the right. Which brings us to this article from Axios. From NFTs to XRP, the biggest crypto stories of 2023. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but given that this is the 3-year anniversary of this coming down, I thought, what a great thing to discuss. And they have this big list. I think it's just a top 10. Yeah, it's a top 10 of various things happening in the world of crypto. And the most important thing they list, number 1 on their list, is that XRP was ruled not a security. Oh, how glorious it is. I wish I could have known that would be the result 3 years ago. That definitely, that would have been nice. I was always optimistic, but you don't technically know for sure. We could have gotten a bad ruling. But here's what Axios wrote. Again, number 1 out of 10. 1, XRP ruled not a security. The year's biggest bombshell remains mostly misunderstood. While the court found some impropriety in how Ripple Labs originally offered its cryptocurrency XRP, this was a footnote that history will ignore. Yes, spot on. And as Attorney Deaton and many others have pointed out consistently, even though you could say it's technically a split decision, what, like 90-10? Because let's be real, at the heart of this matter is the legal status of XRP. That's all that really truly mattered in the scheme of things. That's it. This is a just devastating defeat for the SEC and a massive win for us XRP holders. Massive win. And so, the rest of it, yeah, footnote in history, everybody's going to ignore it. Yes, that sounds about right. And then they wrote, what really mattered. U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres ruled that the asset today no longer qualifies for securities regulation. This was SEC Chair Gensler's worst loss, coming on what has been the biggest legal issue for digital assets. How the government categorizes these instruments determines how freely they can trade in the U.S. Spot on. And then they note technically there could be, this could be overturned, but obviously it doesn't look likely. And so, yes, technically something crazy could happen. As far as I'm concerned, there's about a 0% chance that will ever happen. I mean, because even if this thing, first of all, the SEC even said that they're not going to appeal the decision about XRP's legal status. So to me, it's like open showcase, like it's done. But even if that could somehow be challenged, what do you think happens at the Supreme Court level anyway? So it's a silly idea, frankly. I don't even think they needed to have that 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 note in there about in theory it could be overturned. The odds of that are so close to zero. It's to the point where it's really not even worth mentioning. Because again, the SEC said they're not going to dispute that. And so Attorney Deaton shared that story, as did his crypto law organization on X. And John Deaton wrote, "I know about 75,000 people who helped make it #1." That's right. XRP, #1 most consequential thing in the year. 75,000 people who made that happen. It's a good day, folks. A lot better than Christmas of 2020. This is way, way, way better. So enjoy. And we're going into bull season here. I mean, we're in bull season, obviously. So enjoy this. It's the best time to be an XRP holder. This is my favorite time that I've ever been going through as an XRP holder, because I'm well positioned and I firmly believe we are going to see that new all-time high at some unknown point in the future, and XRP is going to enter price discovery. And I could be wrong and it could go to zero, but I don't think that's what's most probable. So we'll just have to see what happens. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.